Hi, I'm Sarah. Hi, guys. It's Friday. So we have a new HOH to talk about. We got some one-on-ones. We got a wild card comp to talk about. Hello. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Hi. I am exhausted. These feeds today have been messy. This Xavier HOH. Okay, well, we knew it was going to be something. Xavier has spent 2 weeks in this house being like, I don't want to show my cards. I don't want to play publicly. I just want to like lay back. You do that. You do that. I'm not doing anything. I'm over here chilling. So much. And like, we've seen this before. Obviously, there are people who are like, I don't want to win comps and show my cards, but you know their opinions, right? Because in conversations, they're like, yeah, we got to get this person out, or we want to work with these people. But like, he doesn't even go that far. He just sort of goes, yeah, yeah. It doesn't really give us much of anything. So when he accidentally won HOH, you're like, what's this going to be? What's this going to be about? Oh, feed just went down. Just went down for Noms. Perfect timing. So let's talk about what's going to happen. More than likely, when the Noms come back, when we get back from the feeds words, when the feeds come back and we have our Noms, it is probably going to be Brent and Brittany on the block. Last night, it didn't take much convincing. I was actually surprised because I know he is kind of buddy-buddy with Brent. So I thought it was going to take a little bit more work. He's definitely been on that train of like, let's get a female out. So I was surprised that he was just like, yeah, Brent's got to go. I get it. Brent's got to go. But you know what? Brent is in his way with Alyssa. Xavier has a crush on Alyssa. Get in line. Everyone does. And so I bet deep down, Xavier's like, not a bad idea to get Brent out of here. Give me one step closer to Alyssa, although Christian's really the one that you'd have to worry about. But oh, sorry. I meant to highlight Bean. Was it an accident? Yes. He did not mean to win HOH. Oh my goodness, Laura. Thank you for the super chat. What song do you want? Yeah, it's a super chat. Super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Laura. Thanks for putting the time in to keep us updated. We really appreciate it. It is my pleasure. And I thank you for the super chat. Really do. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me. No, I have a headache. What is happening in this house right now? Okay. So let's back it up just a little bit. So he's on board with Brent. And last night he was like, don't want to put Brittany up. You know, she was just on the block. I know it's, you know, they're saying Whitney, and he's like, yeah, I got to do that. Just got to figure out the way to phrase it. And then he continues to cuddle with Whitney all night. I'm like, you're not putting Whitney up. She's your cuddle buddy. Like, how are you going to like snuggle on the couch together and then the next day nominate her, right? No, come on. Not going to happen. No. Oh my gosh, it is not nearly that bad. No. I am not comparing him to Fessy getting Scotty out. That's a one of a kind. That is. You're right, Paul. I need to do like a whole super chat album. I'm working on it. Today, though, I think he woke up realizing I can't nominate the girl that I'm cuddling with. So he has no plan to put Whitney up. what his plan is, because in Brent's one-on-one with him, Brent said, bro, we got to go after these girls, Brittany and Azah. They're the leaders of this all-female alliance. They're the troublemakers. We got to get them out, right? So that gives Xavier his plan. We should also say that Tiffany played for Wildcard and won. Tiffany, Derek X, Xavier asked Derek X to play. And because they knew Brittany was going to play, and Xavier was trying to make sure Brittany didn't win to keep her eligible to go up on the block. So Tiffany, Derek X, and Brittany played the wild card comp, but it was a knockout style comp. So all I know is that when the feeds came back, Tiffany was explaining that she feels really, really bad, that Derek Frazier and Azah are both mad at her. And then we proceed to see this. Like, Azah was so mad, and I think she still is kind of mad. So mad at her because Tiffany and Derek X knocked out Brittany first. So they didn't like the optics. And especially knowing that she might be potentially going on the block, didn't like it looking like they were ganging up on her to make sure she was available to be a nom, right? It's true. They did. They ganged up on her. That's how knockout comps work. They did. And it isn't good optics when that person then goes on the block. Like, let's just say it for what it is, right? Doesn't look good. I'm not sure why Tiffany thought that she needed to do that, because it would make more sense to gang up on Derek X since he's a big target and just play it off and still beat Brittany. But I don't know the full details because this is just like the feeds come back and you just get like half stories, right? You know, it's a knockout comp. You got to take somebody out and somebody has to win, is what it is, right? So I don't have any details about the safety or not. I heard Tiffany didn't take safety, but what the like repercussions were, I did not hear. I did not get those details. So that I am looking forward to seeing. Yeah, I'm not going to put up with any like name calling because everyone can handle situations differently. Just because it's different than the way that you might handle a situation doesn't mean we attack anybody. That's just not the way that we do this channel. We talk about the game, and I'm not a big crier, but some people are. And so I'm not going to judge them for that. So this is where we are when the feeds come back. We've got one-on-ones. We know that some people are upset with Tiffany. And then we learn that Xavier's plan is that he wants to put Brittany next to Brent to make the optics appear that Brittany is the target, right? So in Xavier's head, he's saying, Brent and we talk like we work together. So if I go along that narrative and say, yeah, Brent, you said you want to target Brittany. So I put Brittany up. I'm going to put you up next to her to make sure Brittany doesn't win veto. You know, you're a physical competitor, whatever. Xavier feels like that's making the least waves, right? And that does fit Xavier. He's barely been playing the game. Here he is all of a sudden having to make decisions. And this is the way he feels like he can do it without making decisions. I don't know. I kind of think this is a cowardly way to play, and it's certainly going to be boring, but it might not actually be as boring as I was worried about because Xavier kept getting messier. Okay, so that's the first plan we hear. Okay, he wants to do this. Multiple people are coming in, and they're saying, But why not just put Whitney up next to him? Like, why are you putting Brittany up again? Like, she was just a pawn. She's on the Jokers, and everyone seems to be targeting the Jokers. Like, why are you targeting the Jokers when you're targeting Brent? And the only thing that Xavier can say is he just basically doesn't want Brent mad at him. He doesn't want Brent to blow anything up. He doesn't want Brent to think he's the target and start spilling stuff or try to make deals with people. He wants to keep Brent like calm, cool, and collected, which is when I start going, well, that's real boring. I don't want him calm, cool, and collected all week. I want him to try to make deals. I want to see people play the game. What, we got to wait 7 days to just like blindside him on next Thursday? Just my personal opinion at that point in conversations. Yeah, Xavier did not, again, his HOH, I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? He took these one-on-ones, did not ask anyone for information, did not try to like gain deals or anything like you might do when you have the power of an HOH. He literally, these people would walk in for HOHs and he'd be like, okay, so here's the plan. Brent wants to target Brittany. So I'm going to put Brittany up as the target, and the whole house is going to be like, yeah, Brittany's the target. We got to get her out and make Brent feel comfortable. And then on Thursday, we're just going to vote Brent out. And everybody was like, okay, yeah, no, I get it. Sarah Beth was the first one to be like, why are you pissing off the Jokers? They're already upset because they think that they were ganged up on in the wildcard comp. And now you're going to put one of them up. Why are you doing that when you can just put 2 people up from the aces and you're only really pissing off one person instead of 3 because Brent's going home. So who cares what he thinks? And Xavier was like, no, I care. I want Brent to feel comfortable. I want Brent to feel good. And then Sarah Beth at one point was like, I'm not scared of him. Like, I don't like, why you, and he's like, oh, no, I'm not. You think I'm scared of him? I'm not scared of him. She's like, yeah, he's not scary. Like, why would you be scared? And I was like, yeah, Sarah Beth, good question. Xavier, what are you scared of? Yeah, it's a real scaredy cat kind of play. Then, like Tiffany came in and she kind of did the same thing. She was like, no, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. That's fine. I'm down with this narrative. But like, have you considered just putting Whitney up next to him? And he just like kept shutting it down. Like he obviously was like set on this plan. He feels like this is the way to keep Brent comfortable. Jess, I don't know. Who cares if Brent is comfortable? That is not the game of Big Brother. But yet here we are. And I honestly, like, opinions aside about Brittany, because again, this is all game. But like, why are you putting Brent's feelings above Brittany's feelings? I get Brittany is not aligned with you. You really could care less if she goes or not. But like, you're basically saying like, I just don't care about you and I disrespect you. I care more about Brent's feelings. And I just am like, really? What an interesting statement to say. Especially if Brent is the one going home. Like, you have to live with Brittany, whether you want to work with her or not. You have to live with her. So it's just all very, I'm not sure I'm completely on board with this plan. The next conversation is with Azah, and this is when things get very heated. Yes, Val, we will get to that very shortly, because that's when I was like, oh, maybe this won't be as boring as I thought it would be. We'll see. But first we have Azah who comes in. Now, Xavier has been prepped. The Jokers are being emotional. They are upset. And so he's ready for that. He keeps saying, I'll talk to them. And I was like, he must be a really good lawyer if all he has to do is talk to them and they're not going to be emotional anymore. So I was like, let's see this. Let's see your lawyer in action here, buddy. But it didn't go as well as I think he thought it was going to, because Azah was like, first off, she's like, yeah, I know I should not be so emotional. It's fine. I just didn't know why they were knocking Brittany out. Like, you know, she was like, fine at first. And then when he starts to explain that Brent said both Brittany and Azah's name in the one-on-one, you could just like see Azah's body language. And she's just like, what? And then the way he said it, it sounded like he was about to nominate Azah, and you could see it in her face. And she was like, "Are you putting me up?" And he's like, "No. I won't put Brittany up." And she's like, "What? No, go. Why are you not putting Whitney up? Why are you not doing this?" She was like, "Get to it." She said some really great stuff. I'd have to go back to all my tweets because I was writing it down there. But she was like, "I'm not scared of him." She was like, "If I go out right now, at least I know I wasn't scared of that MFer." She like was hitting it hard, which I kind of loved because I was like, yes, please point out to him that he's playing so scared right now. Like, what is it? Like, why? These women are like, just put him up next to a teammate and like tell him he's leaving. Let him fight for it, whatever. She might have gone a step too far because then it turned into, I cannot let Brittany go up on the block. Put me up instead. I can't do it another week. I mean, they share a bedroom. They're on the same team. Brittany, spills her emotions to Azah, and Azah's an emotional person. So Azah's basically like, I can't live with that again for another week, so I'd rather go up. If you have to put one of us up, put me up. And he's like, no, Cookout, not doing it, not putting you up. And she's like, you'll put me up. She got very heated and emotional with him and was like, put me up. Mess. So mess. A smidge too far. She took it just a smidge too far. Never offered to go on the block. I mean, I feel her in that moment of like, really, we're going to do this to Brittany again? Really? There's no one else? Because there is someone else. There's actually several other people in the house that you could put up. But he's saying, I don't care about Brittany or her feelings, so I'm going to do it. And yeah, tough to watch. Okay, maybe it was 10 steps too far. He's very loyal to the Cookout, and that's basically what he was saying. He was trying to make the point that Brittany's not in the Cookout, and we have to draw the line at some point. Yeah, I get it too. I 100% get it. This is a real tough position for a couple people, and Xavier is taking the weak way out, and we all deserve a nap afterwards. Exactly. His nom pool is really not that small. If he's just protecting the Cookout, he's got a lot of options. He actually... And honestly, because Brent has been talking about Claire a lot this week, and I don't know why Brent left that name off the table, but had he said Claire, I think then maybe we could have shifted this to Claire. Not that I want Claire to go up, but at least it's not Brittany back to back, and you had another female. But Xavier is trying to go off of this narrative that Brent gave him to make Brent feel safe. Okay, Azah and Xavier go back and forth. She tried to leave at one point. He was like, please stay. And she's like, I'm not changing my mind. And you don't seem like you're changing your mind. So eventually they parted ways. She still was saying, put me up, do not put Brittany up. And that was the end of that. Everyone else is sort of like, really, you're not going to put up Whitney? But they're like, okay, that's fine. I get it. Oh, shoot. Brittany's got to go up again. Okay. All right. So the last thing we see, as if Xavier couldn't get messier or more confusing, I'd say, is he calls Brent up to ask him if he's okay with being nominated. And Brent's like, no, I'm not pawn material. These are his words. I'm not pawn material. I'm a threat. There are people in this house who want to vote me out. You can't put me up on the block. And Xavier, again, I don't know what kind of lawyer, how he works as a lawyer, but he was just like, I was like, what do you say? keep going, Xavier. If you're gonna bring it up to Brent and you need to get his permission, keep going. But he didn't. He was just like, okay. You know, and Brent like rambles on about like, no, you can't do that, bud. Like, sorry, like we got a good thing going here. We've got the numbers. You've got an easy path with these females. You just put up these girls. We got the numbers. You're fine. You put me up, you're losing a number. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not smart. You can't do it. And at some point, Xavier was like, so are you saying that if I put you up, then I'm betraying you? And Brent's like, yeah, absolutely. If you put me up, you're betraying me and you're betraying my whole team. And you're going to have all of us mad. Well, it's like, well, okay, first off, your team threw the comp so that you could be evicted. So that's not exactly true. But now Brent has not given permission for this plan. So if this whole plan was really to keep Brent low-key, under control, don't want a mess of a week with chaos, you've already got the chaos because you didn't get his permission. In fact, you heard him say he'll feel betrayed. So if Xavier goes through with Brent and Brittany on the block, it doesn't work. We're no longer pretending Brittany is the target. I mean, I guess he can try, but I don't see it working. So on one hand, great. Maybe it won't be as boring as I thought, but I still don't fully understand this plan other than Xavier just doesn't really care about Brittany, so she's easy to put up, just like Kylan did last week. And we're going to play games with Brent? I don't know. He will consider it a betrayal. Yeah, Adam, 100% Brittany will be on the block 5 times this season if she even makes it that far. It's really hard for me to watch. I don't like to see one person get ganged up on. We see it every season, and it started this season with Derek X. The first week, they all ganged up on Derek X, and they, you know, tell him, you owe us and we control you, la, 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 la. There's just always somebody in the house that they can like step on the most, right? That no one really respects. And right now, Derek X worked himself out of that spot and it's moved on to Brittany. So unfortunately, there's not a lot she can do about it except win a veto and maybe HOH next week. But if that doesn't happen, she will continue to be the easy pawn thrown up on the block until she eventually just gets voted out. You made it. Thank you for making it. Yep, you got to win the comp. I mean, it's harder. It's harder than we think, but Molly, I missed maybe we were talking about Brittany. I don't know if we were talking about Azah. We've seen a few people who have emotions have gotten the best of them. And we also see that every year. Bailey is one of my biggest examples of someone that people love and want to root for, and her emotions sidetrack her game all the time. We see it. Tiffany made a great statement today where she was like, Azah and I are friends. We get along. We love each other. But she plays emotionally. And Tiffany was like, and I do not. And we cannot be aligned at all times. And this was after, like, Azah was like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, Azah was very clearly, like, mad at Tiffany and wouldn't even talk to her. And so Tiffany made that statement. And it's true. Like, you know, Azah is a smart and beautiful woman, and she's got great plans, and I hope that she can win an HOH and move forward and not let her emotions run her game, you know? Oh, no, Britt, pull a Victoria, sit on the block all the way. That would be really hard, but maybe she'd get used to it. Maybe she'd get used to it by then. They were trying to blindside Brent, Natalie, but for some reason, Xavier asked Brent if he could nominate him. Well, if you do that, you're not blindsiding them. And he did not give you permission. So now you are officially betraying her. So I don't know how this is working out for you, Xavier. He really tried to be the most removed HOH ever, and I just don't ever think that that's a possibility. So here we are. Hi, yes, that's next. As soon as I wrap up here, we will watch Survivor South Africa. That still always happens on Friday. Won't miss it. I am rooting for Azah still. Like, it's still early. She's aligned well enough in this game. I don't think this is going to ruin her game today. She just needs to learn from it and pivot. And same thing about Brittany. Like, I've already expressed, I feel for Brittany. She's in a really crappy spot and people are disrespecting her left and right. So it stinks, but you have to roll with it. You have to act like it's no big deal. You have to be like, oh, I'm on the block again. Crap, here I am. You know, nobody wants to do it, but that's the way you have to play it in the game. And I hope she can figure that out as well. I hope she can learn that and pivot it as well. Are you talking about have-nots? Missing halfway through conversations. Sorry, guys. I do want to tell you guys a funny story that happened on the feeds last night, just along this whole Brent line. The only flaw in Tiffany's game right now is DF's personal feelings to her. Yeah, she and DF are definitely butting heads a little bit. But Tiffany does overplay her hand a little bit here and there. It makes me a little nervous because, yeah, she's playing circles around everyone, but she has to, like, dial it back every once in a while. So, yes, I agree, Dory. At least X gave Britt a heads up. And I think that will help in the long term. Like, Brittany was really blindsided last week. She did not get that heads up. So at least she got a heads up today. And I started the stream saying that he's going to nominate Brittany next to Brent. But even though Azah was like, put me up, Xavier was like, no, not going to happen. So it's still Brittany, even though Azah thinks that she might possibly go up. So Azah will be upset when feeds come back and the noms are Brittany. Azah will be very upset. Oh my gosh, I didn't see this on the show, the production error with Frenchie sitting on the couch, but his feet were at the end. But I saw the clip, the photo of it on Twitter afterwards. I did not notice it on the show. That's hilarious. They do that kind of stuff where they have to like edit people in, people out. I guess half of people. I don't know. It's a very, very interesting what they do. Okay, so last night, so Brent is the target, right? People have been talking all week about how they want Brent out. The females of the house have been like slowly starting to be like, he's making me uncomfortable. Like he says this and he says that. And like more girls are like, oh yeah, me too. Like he said this, like at first, you know, you're like, oh, I'm playing a game. I have to just like laugh it off. But now they're like openly talking about, including Whitney, who's like loudly like, please get Brent out. He drives me bonkers. He's sexist. He's a misogynist. She's like, get him out of here. But last night, Alyssa and her boo, Christian, were whisper. They were talking about dating and they were like being flirty. And like Brent is always watching Alyssa, right? Like he wants Alyssa so bad. He's so mad that Christian got her. He is like living in some weird world where he's still trying to get her. I don't know. It's such weirdness. But so he was watching her and reading her lips, or at least I should say attempting to read her lips while she was having this conversation. He thought she said, people only want to work with me because they want to date me. Does that make sense? Why would anyone say this? But he's obsessed with her. So he thinks that's what she said. He like says it to Whitney. He's like, I'm reading her lips. And she said this, that people only want to work with her because they want to date her. So eventually he gets a moment with Alyssa and he's like, can we go talk? He, no joke, confronted her about it. He said, he goes just like this. He goes, just so you know, I don't want to work with you because I want to date you. I want to work with you because I trust you, not because I want to date you. And she's like, what are you talking about? Because he said it all like that. Like, I know what you did. He's got that attitude of like, I caught you. I know. I don't want to work with you because I want to date you. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, no, I know. I read your lips. I saw you. This is exactly how he's doing it. I read your lips. I saw you say, people only want to work with you that want to date you. And she's like, no, that is not what I said. How cocky would that even be? She was like, we were talking about dating. So she explains what she actually said. And then she said, why were you reading my lips? And I'm like falling over out of my chair at this point. Like, what does he say? Like, why did he bring this up to her? Why did he say, I read your lips, you creepy stalker? Like, what? Oh my gosh. It was hilarious. But because she called him out on it, she was like, why are you reading my lips? And he was like, well, I thought you were, you were whispering. So I thought you were saying like something game. And she was like, no, please stop. Please stop. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm glad we aired this out. No, I'm glad we cleared the air. I just want to like straighten that out with you. And she's like, okay. And then he proceeded to try to make a final two with her. And she was like, yeah, do you have other final twos? And he was like, no, just one with Frenchie, but that doesn't count. And she was like, okay. So eventually she did sort of like nod along, but she knew he was being targeted this week. But it was so funny and creepy. He's a one of a kind, that one. Why did he think that was a normal thing to do? I don't know. This is a good question, Christina. Oh my gosh, did he really? He tried to sleep in the bed next to her last night. He is so struggle because I think he legitimately is like, how come I'm not in a showmance? He thought he was coming into this show and was going to be like hooked up with somebody. And the girl he likes doesn't like him. And then the second girl he likes doesn't like him either. He also likes Hannah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he said, let's be trick or treat. And she was like, huh. Really? Amy, hi. What you missed in a nutshell. Xavier is going to nominate Brittany and Brent. He's going to try to play it off like Brittany is the target. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But that's his HOH in a nutshell. He needs to stop focusing on Alyssa, that's for sure. It's not going to happen. She has moved on to Christian. I was shocked he even thought that he could do a final two with her, because don't you assume she's with Christian? I think he wants her to not be with Christian so bad that he's just like not living in reality. Doesn't being on the block, even as a pawn surviving the vote, help to build Brittany's resume in the game? Oh, I wish that were a thing. It's not. The more times you are used as a pawn, the more you're looked at as expendable. It just shows that person and the rest of the house that you don't care about their game. You know? Oh, yeah. Was that Brent? He did. He said something like charm. Oh. Did he turn it down? Is that what happened? Not really sure. It's just not going to happen. Laura says the feeds will be fun with Brent on the block. Not going to become like X wants. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. When X was like, I just want him to be calm. I don't want any chaos. I was like, what? 7 days of us with nothing going on? No, Xavier, that's not why we watch Big Brother. We gotta have a target. We gotta have people trying to get off the block. You know, make Brent think he's the target so that he guns for that veto. And honestly, I don't care if he wins because I love when people take themselves off of the block. I will also love it if he loses. I will love it if Brittany wins and he feels like, oh, darn, now Brittany's off the block. I don't know. I love all that stuff. That's why I like Big Brother. Don't give me this, like, let's just sit here and pretend like everything's okay. No, I'm sad about Azah and Tiffany. Azah's not going to be happy. She's going to be upset when the feeds come back. This chaos with Azah and Tiffany isn't good. We need them to be able to at least work together a little bit longer, even if they're not going to be ride or dies. That's fine. But we do need them to get it together. And I think they will. Tiffany did mention that, like, she doesn't like when people are mad at her, so she's going to work hard on Azah, but that also she's very good at getting people back on her good side. So I think they'll be able to work it out because at the end of the day, the cookout is more important than their teams. And that is what they need to remember there. Thank you for the super chatty. Mark, how is your sweet Cancer Kylan doing? The Pisces wants to know. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I forgot to tell you guys, it's a full moon today. Miranda and I had predicted that this was going to be a hot day. Full moon in Aquarius. We've also got some retrograde and some transits happening that we knew it would be fairly dramatic. I did not predict that it was going to be like Tiffany and Azah mad at each other dramatic, but your sweet Cancer Kylan is doing just fine. Xavier and Derek F have sort of finalized or, honed in on their little trio, that their trio is officially a thing. So I think they're in a good spot in the house. I think they are protected. We just read those stars, guys. Just read those stars. But not only is it going to be hot in the house, it's going to be hot outside with all of us. It's a full moon for all of us. So be careful. If you've got family events or going out tonight, be careful. We're all pretty worked up right now. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. This could work in the cookout's favor. If there's tension, maybe the alliance won't be found out. I mean, they have not been found out yet. They are so under the radar that on Twitter today, people were like, is it officially an alliance? Is this just an understanding? What is this? Because they don't meet all together. They're real under the radar. So publicly the house looks like Derek Frazier and Azah are upset with Tiffany. No one would guess they're in an alliance together. So then it is hot in temperature and in chaos. I mean both. Good point, Laura. Brent is a Scorpio. That's why he said, when Xavier was like, are you saying if I put you up, you feel I'm betraying you? Brent's like, yes, because that's true to a Scorpio. You come for them, you are betraying them. Derek F is also a Scorpio. That's not something that they can just be like, no bigs. Cool. You put me up. It's a betrayal. And they will come back with that little scorpion sting, the little stinger. Dory feels like Tiffany is not super sympathetic to the fact that Azah's team seems to be targeted. I think that's a very good point. It's when you are just flying high and in a great place, aligned with just about everyone, and you've got people wrapped around your finger, it's hard to see that like the Azahs and the Brittany's of the world are sitting on a team that has been targeted. 2 of them sat on the block last week. They just got targeted with this knockout wildcard comp. Like you feel like, how do I get out of this? It's hard to consider that when you're playing a great, great game. So, oh, we got a Scorpio Molly. You feel it. But look, I'm a Sagittarius and I do not claim Christmas and Memphis. So I feel ya. I feel ya. Yep. You guys are good, loyal people until someone comes at you. And then, no, thank you. Not going to put up with that. Scorpios are also very passionate people. So they will not like hide back and just be like, oh, I'll come get you. Scorpios are like passionately out there saying, no, we're coming for you, or I will get you back. So, I mean, honestly, I want to see it. I want to see it in Brent. Let's go. Everybody's good, Amy. Everyone is. Who's our Libra? Oh, Travis was our Libra. We lost our Libra already. Yes, we have at least one. I thought we had 2 Geminis. I know Brittany is a Gemini. And then who's the other Gemini? Who's the other chatty person? Oh, Claire. Claire and Brittany. Well, some people are just criers. Some people have to cry first, and then after they calm down, then they can think, like, how did I get this in this situation? Luckily, she knows. Luckily, Xavier explained it to her. Like last week, she was like, what did I do to get in this position? But this, at least she understands that Xavier explained it to her. So just cry it out. Who cares if people cry it out? Go into your room and cry it out, and then get back into the game. Go into the DR, cry it out privately. I don't care. Again, I'm not a crier, but if I do cry, don't be mad at me about it. That's just me. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of Scorpios in your family. Wow. Oh, no, it was not talked about, Caitlin. Thank you. Nicole and Victor had their baby this morning. I don't keep up with house guests once they're out of the house. So congrats to them. Hope everyone is healthy. Oh my goodness. If I could play in any season of Big Brother, I'd probably want to play in this one. All of these nerdy people, I love them so much. We've never had this many like intelligent, nerdy people. They have conversations about like superhero movies and nerdy things like Harry Potter and You know, we usually like hear just your typical normal, let's party in Vegas and who's your favorite football team, you know, like, which is fine. I like football. But like the conversations are way nerdier than usual. And I love all of that. Oh, a very good point, Tarek. Kyland cried when he was nominated. Absolutely. Our first week, we only saw men cry. We saw Frenchie cry, we saw Kyland cry, and we saw Derek X cry. And I don't remember anyone being like, stop crying. So, yeah, whatever. Cry it out. Who cares? Yeah, everybody cries, guys. Everybody poops and everybody cries. Just the way it goes. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. That's basically it. Xavier's trying to, I don't know, not make waves, but it's impossible. You handsome man. It's impossible. So hopefully we get some fireworks with Brent on the block. He's got no allies, but I'm sure people will try to pretend somewhat. It will be very interesting to see. And we got Veto playing tomorrow. That will be interesting to see as well. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, please do so. It helps the channel a lot. I appreciate it. Anything else? Thank you guys. All right, I will be back. Oh, well, those of you who watch Survivor South Africa with me, give me a couple minutes. I'll be back for that. And then tomorrow, of course, we talk about it with Chantel. And then on Monday, I'll be back with David and we'll talk about all the weekend's feeds and Sunday night's episode. Whoop, whoop, Bermuda. Yes. All right, you guys. Bye.